Scotty, I think there was a little bit of concern about Luke Brown and Cheney. They had to get through. They looked like they got through all right. You're pretty happy with that?
Yeah, no, they were fine. They did some stuff yesterday and got through today, and they're all ready to go, which is nice.
Josh, he didn't look like he did much, but is that just a personal thing, captain's run? You can do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we give the players a bit of licence for their best preparation, yeah.
How tough was selection? Obviously, Hendo, in some people's views, is probably your best player against West Coast. He misses out. How tough was that call for a finals game? Yeah,
no, it's tough. I mean, and having 2 weeks, it's been a 2-week match committee, so it's been a long time trying to fine-tune it, I guess, with the balance and also having a couple of guys that we thought may have missed. But yeah, it's always difficult this time of year. There's always some unlucky guys that miss out, but he's still a valuable player for us. And Cam was unlucky as well. He's contributed in the 2 games he's played, but Sloane and Smith come back in. It's pretty self-explanatory.
What did you weigh up in that selection process with Hendo versus someone like a McCain, for instance?
Yeah, well, it's not Hendo versus McCain. It's a Hendo in our team structure and what roles we expect guys to play. So at the end of the day, we thought the balance was better with obviously not having him in.
Is he out of contract? But you think about obviously the possibility that he might decide to move not playing, or does it come down to strictly picking your best 22?
Yeah, all finals is about best 22, so we can't be getting carried away with where guys are. Obviously, at some stage there's those thoughts, but at the end of the day we're here to win finals and win premiership, so we'll pick our best 22.
The decision made even how well you play against West Coast?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into how we rate individual players' games, so you can purely look at the numbers. There's a lot of other factors as well that we go by, so you can get caught up in that stuff, but as I said, the team balance was not him in the team this week.
So there's a 2-week match committee and 2 weeks to look at the midfield group as well. Their poorest performance of the season, obviously. Are you confident that you've done enough to bounce back this week?
Yeah, no, I'm confident, Tommy. I think you'd say we got it right for a good part of the year. I think collectively, as a group, we didn't get it right on the night in terms of the way we wanted to play, and West Coast, to their credit, played the way they wanted to play. So, but I do know this is a real proud group, and I know they're ready to go for this week.
Watching last night's game, do you need to everyone thought West Coast was going to win, everyone thinks you're going to win, do you need to guard against those things, because it seemed like the Eagles got ahead of themselves last night? Yeah, well, I can't comment on Eagles' mentality going into the game, but history says in finals anyone's a chance. It's a 50-50 ball game, and if you allow the opposition to play they want to play, it's going to be very difficult. You're playing against better offence, you're playing against better defence teams and quality midfield. So, and Bulldogs were probably better in all facets of the game last night, so they get the win. So our guys are really clear about what needs to get done tomorrow night.
You draw on any of your own finals experience. You had a couple of gripping years at the Blues. Does it help having guys like you and John that have had ultimate success around the club? Yeah, well, yeah, obviously players draw on that and you can try and help them through those scenarios, but finals is contested, it's tough, it's never a pretty game, it's an arm wrestle, there's no secrets to it, but yeah, we've had conversations about it. We've got Ryan O'Keefe as well, he's played in Sydney in a real great time for their footy club, so we've got a lot of guys that have played finals footy, but at the end of the day we're not out there, so as I said, the guys that are playing, they need to understand what we need to do, and the result will take care of itself.
What's turning out in terms of fans today? How excited are you just to the boys to play in front of that home crowd?
Yeah, no, it's important. I mean, it's great to get a home final. Last year we played 2 in Melbourne, and it's nice to get a home one. So, as I said, it doesn't matter where you finish. Really, at the end of the day, you got to keep winning, and we get an opportunity to play in front of our home crowd, which is a bonus.
What did you learn from the West Coast loss?
Well, I think it was a combination of, as I said, all facets of our game. We probably didn't defend the way that we would have liked to defend. We probably got didn't get our contest work right around the middle of the ground and aerially, and we defensively we're probably off on the night as a collective. So you can put that down to whatever you want, but we didn't get it right, and we've tried well, we've freshened the players up, so there's no excuses.
On a personal note, Scott, different approach this year for you is such a whirlwind time, emotional time for the footy club. How are you feeling a year on from that experience and going into this finals? Yeah, no, I guess from last year into this year, we've got more confidence, obviously winning more games,
We've tightened up our defence, which is something that we needed to sort of touch off on, and the players are in a really good headspace, and we've had continuity of players. So all those things going into a final series is important.
How important to dictate from the start? We saw West Coast came with the right attitude seemingly against you guys, and last night the Doggies seemed really switched on from the get-go, even though West Coast kicked the first 2 goals. How important in that first 10 minutes to come with the right attitude to set the tone for the match?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, these guys are elite sport, so we expect them to come with the right attitude in any game, whether it's a final or a minor round game. But, you know, for whatever reason, sometimes they just don't hit the mark. But, look, winning games of footy is weight of numbers, so we'll be expecting weight of numbers tomorrow night to get it done.
What do you mean by that? I mean, a lot of contributors?
Yeah.
What's something that you guard against, Scott? I mean, is there 1 or 2 things for those that haven't played finals that they have to prepare not to be caught off by, say, like the pace of the game, that sort of thing?
Oh, look, it'll be hot early, no doubt about that. But, you know, once again, they've played in big games during the year as well against top 4 teams, so they understand. They're a reasonably mature group in terms of their expectations and what they need to do. So I don't foresee any real issues with the group that we've got.
Is that weight of numbers what the Dogs showed last night? They had this sort of pack mentality, as the coach said?
Yeah, well, you saw all over the ground. You know, they were able to, you know, work from contest to contest, outnumber, pressure, get the ball in their front half, and obviously West Coast found it difficult. But they're 2 different teams to us, you know, but at the end of the day, the philosophies are pretty similar.
North Melbourne, what are their strengths and the big dangers for you guys?
Yeah, well, across the board, I mean, obviously they've got finals experience. They've played in the last couple of prelim finals, so they've got a little bit of that. You know, they've got a hard and tough midfield, which generally helps you in finals. And they've got some, you know, power forwards, so we've got to be able to restrict their supply, obviously through the middle of the ground, and hopefully put their defenders under, you know, a bit of duress without.
Last one, guys. Bye mightn't hurt in terms of giving the loss to West Coast in the final round the chance to really set yourself and go again, given you've used so few players this season.
It's $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll let you know after tomorrow night. But it's certainly given the players an opportunity to rejuvenate, freshen up, get some solid training in, and go into the game really confident.
Are you expecting, it could be the last game for a few Kangaroos out there, 4 big names. Do you think that that emotion might lift them just a bit? You know, how do you counter against that?
We'll do the things that we need to do. Can't worry about what North Melbourne's attitude is.